about Revelations, you know what I'm saying? Revelations 12. You know what I mean?
Chapter 1. Step 1. Make the decision. Program? I don't need no damn program. Hooked on drugs? I just been smoking crack for 6 years. That don't mean I'm addicted. I can stop using drugs whenever I please. Getting high make you deep. I like to have deep conversations, you know. Shit, killing me. Everybody gotta die some way. This is my last hit. This the last time I'm getting high. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said when people wrote him about their bad habits, "How can I stop?" He said, "Just stop." Why would he say something like that? Well, there's no big, long, drawn-out thing to break a habit. You have to develop the will to stop. And then stop. You can stop heroin. You can stop reefer. You can stop drugs. You can stop any bad habit once you make up your mind. Quoted from The Restrictive Laws Are Success by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. The mind has to be made up to make the decision. What decision? Do I love life? Do I want to live? If the answer to these questions are yes, then the decision has to be made to not continue to knowingly kill yourself with drugs, cigarettes, and alcohol. I mention these 3 vices for the purpose of this writing. However, there are many ways that we destroy ourselves through addiction. I'm just sharing my testimony as a reference point from which principles can be drawn and applied to any situation involving addictive, self-destructive behavior. Decision is a conclusion or resolution reached after consideration. In boxing, a decision is the awarding of a fight in the absence of a knockout or technical knockout to the boxer with the most rounds won or with the most points. Now, before you knock yourself out of life, make a decision. Here's a quick story. When I was 19 years old, my niece, Angel, was 3 years old. I had just come into a certain knowledge of the black man's contribution to civilization. I read the autobiography of Malcolm X. I just started going back to church. Not just any church, but the great Union Temple Baptist Church under the leadership of Reverend Willie F. Wilson, who has an Afrocentric theology. So I'm receiving all of this uplifting information. As I'm learning, I'm teaching my niece. One day I was sitting on the couch smoking a cigarette. My niece hops up on the couch beside me and asks, "Uncle Mike, why do you smoke?" I promise you, I felt terrible. My thoughts were, what excuse am I going to give a 3-year-old? Then she said, "You know it's killing you, right?" Right then and there, I made a decision to never let her see me smoke again. I didn't stop smoking yet, but her words kept ringing in my ears every time I lit a cigarette. I spent a few years hiding from little Angel every time I wanted to take a smoke. After running myself through the fire of this self-imposed hell with lying and stealing and smoking up paycheck after paycheck, it was just a matter of time before I would completely self-destruct. Hanging out on the drug strips all through the night in the late 80s and early 90s during a time when the DMV, Washington, D.C. metropolitan area, had become the murder capital of the country. I saw so much destruction of human life. It was one day in early 1991 that I cashed my paycheck, and from that moment throughout the night, I began to smoke up my entire check. At the time, I had a good government job with FDIC, so I was beaming up all night. I ran out of cash, and there was my little cousin's purse sitting there welcoming my thievery. She was staying with us at the time. After emptying her purse, I was down to her bank card, and I promise you, if I could have figured out her PIN code, I would have wiped her out. I found one more $20 bill in my mother's coat pocket and took that out to a strip in Southeast D.C. called Valley Green. The dope man told me to come in the building He gave me the crack rock. I gave him the money. I looked at it and knew that it was a dummy. It was fake, but I was surrounded by known killers, so I was blessed to get out of that building alive. This dummy move I made was necessary to produce the shift in my thinking that would lead to the decision that would ultimately save my life. Picture this dummy after blowing my whole check to get high, then emptying my baby cousin's purse, who I'm supposed to protect and be a role model for. And to top it off, stealing from the woman who struggled as a single parent to sacrifice everything for me. There was nothing in my life more low life and shameful as this feeling. This is what had become my rock bottom. Everyone's rock bottom is not the same. However, the rock bottom experience is usually what produces the mind to make a decision. A decision must be made. When you make your decision, it has to be for you. When you are addicted to drugs, over time you begin to lose all shame. Even if you are hiding, once you kill the voice of reason on the inside, your outside appearance doesn't even matter. But when you reach rock bottom and can no longer face yourself in the mirror, you really start changing on the inside. When the disgust of your very existence begins to penetrate your heart, your appearance begins to matter to you. That's what's important. You don't want your decision to be rooted in people-pleasing or how someone else feels about you. People-pleasing is another addiction that has the potential to interfere with your growing love for self, to satisfy someone else's desire to control you. Take control of your life and enjoy the journey of making the right decision. Make the decision. Decide to change. Affirm in your mind and out of your mouth that it is time to make a change. Then you can start exploring the true power in the mind to change. It's going to be a challenge, but we have until the last bell ring before the ultimate decision is made. The decision is made, the journey begins. With love, all things are possible.